Good morning there. You're watching QTV this morning, and I am Jenna Basonko. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. Ibrahim Abalde, my amazing co-host, as well as Mr. Ade, our newspaper review guest. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here, and a pleasure to have real newspapers.
Celebration, right?
Rather than having to go online and look at them. At least so we can flick through the newspaper.
Exactly.
So,
Ibrahim?
it's great to be here. Ibrahim seems distracted.
Yeah, so Ibrahim, take us through our African proverb quickly.
I am not very happy with what I saw on the newspaper.
Just
but
take us through
I will
the
still take
quickly.
you through the proverb. Then we can delve into the newspapers
Exactly,
later.
and we apologize for the late start. We really apologize, you know. Sometimes you just have technical hitches here and there. Inevitable.
Putting it on the gerund form, apologizing.
Yes.
Apologizing for that. A leader is a donkey for others to ride.
Wow.
Where are the leaders in the building? Where are the leaders in the building? A leader is a donkey for others to ride. I mean, Mr. Ade, you are a leader. Take us through this program.
I mean, for somebody like Mr. Weltare, who the minute you say Mr. Weltare, you know that's a leader. For him to say that, I am a leader, I mean, come on. I have no idea what they mean by this. You know, in terms of to ride, because it kind of, there's this kind of negative connotation to it. A leader is a donkey for others to ride. It probably means that if you are a leader, you carry heavy burden. You know, the burden of expectation, the burden of having to deliver. All of those are on your head or on your back. Sometimes you have to make difficult decisions.
Right.
You know, so you know, in the saying is that heavy is the head that wears the crown. They don't mean literally that the crown is heavy physically, but just the responsibility that is upon you. Those are heavy. And I guess this is a kind of sort of an analogy like that, you know, you're the donkey, you're the leader.
And you have to carry.
You have to carry everything and everybody along with you.
Well, that reminds me of a saying, you know, as a leader or head of a particular institution, you have to accept certain things. I mean, you need to take responsibility. That's what we think leaders are for.
Sure.
I mean, those that, you know, at the end of the time, everything goes back to them.
Sure.
You understand? This is where we differentiate between a leader and a boss. You understand?
Sure.
And most of the time, we tend to think a good leader is a person who will accept a whole lot of stuff. So there are also a difference. I mean, people think to be more bossy, it's better than being a leader. You understand? Some people, they have their own interpretation. Some might think, okay, fine. I think when you are bossy, that's the time when things work. You know? If you are a leader, you become so lenient to an extent that you might compromise your job. Sometimes this is what people think.
Yeah, but I think generally, I agree with Mr. Ade, a leader is a donkey. It just means that there's a huge burden, you know, on your soldiers, and then you just need to carry everyone with you, carry the whole team with you. You know, that kind of team mindset, you know, when everybody's in it. You know, but I'm thinking a donkey. Wow, that's a bit hard.
Well, a donkey. When you think about it, I mean, you know, when in this position, when they try to portray a leader as a donkey, we all will understand what they really want to portray.
Do you know what another phrase is for a donkey? A beast of burden.
A beast of burden.
A beast of burden.
Yeah.
It means that it is an animal that can carry lots of heavy loads. And so, well, I guess that is
what it's trying to drive at.
I think donkey went to an extent whereby if you tell a person you are a donkey,
it depends on the context.
They feel offended.
Of course, it depends on the context.
Yeah, so gentlemen, I think because we started late, so we're just going to try to do about 2 stories maximum.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's start with the one that upset
upset him. And
over 2 million children in Nigeria need humanitarian aid.
Right.
So the reason why I'm upset, when you talk to some people, they'll tell you Nigeria is the superpower of Africa. They'll tell you,
which I've always found to be a joke.
With our oil, with our you know, technocrats. I mean, Nigeria is full of people that are well educated.
But do they also say, you know leaders there are so corrupt?
But at the end of the time,
Yeah.
why are we needing humanitarian aid? At the end of the time, Nigeria should be, I mean, a country that will really.
It should be giving aid to
Absolutely. If we have that, if we have that oil, if we have all those educated people, I think they should really relieve Africa from what we are suffering.
True.
No, this is true, but it's been very badly run, and I think one of the reasons why Nigeria has been badly run is the thing you just mentioned, oil. I think when they started getting oil revenue, they forgot about everything else.
Yeah.
If Nigeria had been serious about farming, about agriculture, they could feed half of Africa, if not the whole of Africa. But they didn't. They just thought, oh, we're getting billions from oil.
And
let's
then
forget
they
about
all
everything
rushed,
else.
yeah.
You know, Nigeria should not be importing any agricultural products from anywhere.
Any.
The country is so big and the land so diverse. There are areas where they can grow anything and everything.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that? Because they were busy counting the dollars, the billions of dollars, the petrol dollars.
Corruption.
That were not just corruption, but just the fact that they just relied so heavily on all the revenue that they were getting from
Exactly.
oil.
I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Nigeria shouldn't be importing, you know, farm produce to.
Mind you, they even import oil.
Exactly.
Petrol.
Yes.
Yeah, because
So
that's the sad part.
the
Right?
other
I
day-
don't get it.
The other day when I said to
I
my
don't-
father, wow, it rained today, he laughed at me and he said to me, if you go to Nigeria, I mean, where
And
you
to
know
me-
it almost rained throughout the year.
There are certain areas where it rains.
Yeah,
You know.
and then the fact that, you know, the population is so huge with a lot of land, labor is in abundance as well, because, you know, it's not a country too where people just pick and choose what to do. Nigerians are like ready. One thing about them, they want to work. Because if you go to our Nigerian market here, it's them, they're working, they're making a lot of money.
You go anywhere. I
Yeah,
mean,
anywhere,
when
across
they
the
were
world.
being attacked in South Africa 2
Yeah.
years ago, they interviewed one guy, and you know, the South Africans who were attacking them were saying these people come here and they take our jobs, and the guy said, "I've come here,
Work.
I've opened a hairdressing salon." What's stopping any South African
Nobody's
from doing
stopping
that?
any South
Nobody's
African.
stopping
They're
you.
so xenophobic.
You know, exactly. Nobody's stopping you opening a hairdressing
Yeah.
salon. Why are you attacking me
Even
because
the
I've done it?
Nigerian market, nobody's stopping any Gambian, but it's about, you know, people being ready to work and, you know, not pick and choose what to do.
I mean, you find them when I went to Cape
yeah.
Verde, lots of Nigerians there.
Exactly.
They're all working hard.
They're working hard. They're really hard-working people.
I think also we need to appreciate the fact that if you see most of these people settle in the Gambia, Gambians are very accommodating.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true.
Yeah.
The freedom that you might have in the Gambia, you may not find it anywhere. You know, very little, because we've seen a lot of countries whereby at some point they'll just wake up one day and tell all foreigners to go back home. And
Ghana must go.
I've
Like the Nigerians
I've
did.
not seen such an incident in the Gambia.
And you know what? I think this is an issue of West Africans. West Africans are very kind. I've been to East Africa before, and I can compare the two. West Africa, okay, for example, when I went to Togo, and 2 weeks later I went to Kenya. When I went to Togo, a Ghanaian, Togolese counterpart there, I was so relaxed, you know. You know, West Africans
accommodated you very
accommodated me, you know, was so nice. But on the other hand, with East Africans, I was buying fuel, you know, I was like doing everything. And even when you go out, you have to pay for them to eat. There are people who feel like they they be on you. Like when you're a foreigner and you go there,
you have to take care of them.
Thank you. You have to look after them
and for us
because they feel like you brought in some dollars, you came with some pounds.
You're
so
a
let's
tourist.
share the money.
And
That's
for
how they
us
think.
in West Africa, we are not used to that.
No, we don't know that.
I mean, most people will tell you about how friendly we are.
We are great people.
In West Africa, a lot of our sort of friendliness, it's got nothing to do with the fact that we expect anything from you.
That's the thing.
that we
It's
are
just us
friendly.
being nice.
Just, you know, so when we talk about things like the smiling coast, I know it's a
Exactly.
kind of advertising cliche,
Yeah.
but there's an element of truth in
There
it.
is a huge
You know,
element.
no,
Mr.
absolutely,
Ade,
yes.
Togolese people are so
Yes.
nice. But if you go to East Africa, then it's a different thing. If a colleague has to take you around, you have to buy fuel. You buy food for yourself, you buy food for them. You go to a place where you have to pay for ticket, you pay your ticket and then pay for them. I can, you know. So I just hope they're not watching.
That's a difficult
then-
environment
In fact,
to
we hope
survive.
they are watching because
Actually,
it's the truth.
I was supposed to do this TikTok video on comparing West Africans and East Africans, like my experiences, because it was completely different. When you're going to a place where, for example, when I went to the Giraffe Center, I paid for my ticket, which was like $15, and also paid for the person.
Mind you, $15 is a lot.
Yeah, that's what I paid to see the giraffes, you know, and then it's less for Kenyans, but I had to pay for that person. You know, you buy fuel, you buy fuel, you buy fuel for them, you buy food for them. But then on the other hand, the West African was even mad that I offered to pay for something. He was angry. He was like, you come to my country and you want to pay? I'm not going to allow that. Well, I'm like, then when you come to Gambia as well, I'm going to reciprocate the same thing. But even when my East African counterparts come to Gambia, I can't do that to them. I can't, because it's not my culture.
Well, you know, sometimes it's good to embark on these trips. I mean, to know the difference. I mean,
I'm happy Mr. Ade knows. You agree with what I'm saying, right?
I've traveled.
You've been there, so you know.
It's good
That's
for
how
people
they
to
are.
know.
Sorry.
You know,
It's true.
each and every country, you have your own way of doing your thing. I mean, some might think, okay, I have to survive, you understand? While others are saying, okay, this is my guest, I need to take care of the person. You know, but West Africa, it's a very, I think it's a very good place to be. It's accommodating.
So quickly, we just have a few minutes to go, according to what I'm told. So, you know, childhood vaccination delays in the Gambia, according to a new study by the MRC. I don't think that is looking good. QTV actually covered it. So it's saying that vaccination are delayed throughout the country with potential implications for disease outbreaks.
Yeah, I mean, this is all a result of kind of vaccine hesitancy.
Yes.
You know, before COVID came along, us taking our children along to be vaccinated was quite normal.
Easy.
It was the thing that we did.
Yeah.
Measles, mumps, rubella, MMR. We would get them vaccinated and we wouldn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
But when COVID came and they came up with a vaccine, some people said too quickly. They were like, vaccines normally take 10, 15 years before they find a vaccine.
Yeah,
How
so
come
why is it
in 18
so
months
quick?
they found the vaccine? And so there became this suspicion about it. And now it's affected every other type of vaccination that we're trying to do for our children. Some of these will save our children's lives, polio and so on. So, you know, parents need to be made aware.
They should.
That really keeping your children back is actually not helping them. You're actually harming them. So, but it's a difficult one to sell to people these days.
I agree. Yeah, so because we started late, we have to let you go now. But thank you so much, Mr. Ade, for joining us. So we're just going to go for a short break. And when we come back, we'll be having a discussion on standards in the Gambia. We'll be joined by a representative from the Gambia Standards Bureau. And that story was done by Julden Jai.
It was.
You know, it was on cables.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really important considering fire outbreaks.
So we've electrical cables and those type of things.
Yes, we've reported on so many, you know, fire outbreaks where, you know, you hear the victim saying, oh, it's electrical. But then it's about the quality that you also buy at the end of the day. So we'll just go for a short break and we'll be right back.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled device. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate bundles. Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls.
Back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. So Ibrahim, and now we're joined by a representative from the Gambia Standards Bureau, Amadou G. Jallo, who's the Senior Standards Officer, Electrotechnical. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. So when I said Amadou G. Jallo, it's not the businessman. So just to make it clear, you know, ki hanga ki sen pull business. Am na sa hel bi sa fofu la demon. So ko defé holal so ko fe rek mu dem di la maquette. Daf ci gaaw de.
Jiba ñu hawa
jaaxal waye du mom. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amadou, for joining us. Our colleague Julian Jai actually covered that story where you guys were, you know, testing electrical cables, you know, to check for the standards. And then, you know, we saw that we saw the difference, kind of, because you did the testing and all.
The demo,
the demo. So how do you control this as a, you know, standards bureau in the Gambia? What are some of the control mechanisms when it comes to its importation, you know, wholesale and retail in the Gambia?
All right. Thank you very much for having me, Genova, and it's my pleasure to be here today. I think during our program on Friday, when Julia Jai was covering, that program was meant for a sensitization program.
Right.
So we brought in the importers and the users of cables and all other stakeholders that are actually within the electrotechnical sector to talk about issues related to the substandard cable that we have within the country.
Right.
So during this particular activity, we did a demo. So this demo was solely meant for viewers to understand what do you have to look out for when you go out there to buy a cable, to buy the different types of cable that we have in the market. So what we did is we went out just randomly in the market along the streets, bought an extension cable. I brought that same extension cable with me today, just to show what kind of extension cable that we can have around the market, around the market when you walk around. So we bought it for $200. So we bought another.
So do you have the sample?
Yes, I have a sample. I brought the sample with me.
Okay.
Maybe perhaps I'll show the sample later on. So we bought it for $200, and then we also brought another extension cable from a reputable company, and we did a demo test. So this demo test was done by plugging a kettle. So because the extension cable is stated that it's rated at 10 amps volts. 10 amps current, and then kettles are rated at 9 amps. So we did a demo to plug the kettle directly into the $200 extension cable within 10 seconds. If you look at the demo, within 10 seconds, 15 seconds, it started smoking already. So it goes to show you, and when we plugged it into the other extension cable, it boiled the water in the kettle. So it goes to show you the differences between the quality of the two different adapters that we have in the market. And it's just not for adapters, it also applies to cables, the different cables that we have. Because we have 1.5 millimeter cables, we have 2.5 millimeter cables, all the way to 2,500 millimeter cables that we have within the market. But you go out there, you'll be told that these are British cables, these are Dubai cable, this is Indian cable. They label it based on the countries that they're coming from, right?
And the different prices.
That's the thing, but that's
be
not...
Be more mass, be more oil.
Exactly, but it should not be labeled like that. It should be based on standards. That's the role of the Standards Bureau. We're here to provide the standards, the references, the requirements for the type of cables that are supposed to be in the market. These are standards that we've already published, and it's called the Conductors of Insulated Cables. So this is the standard that we were promoting during that particular workshop, and the standard have the specifications, the requirements of all the different types of cables, from the 1.5, like I mentioned, to all the way to 2,500 millimeter cable sizes. So these are the different requirements it tells you about, from the cross-sectional area of the cable. Because if you say 1.5 millimeter cable, if you measure it, it should give you exactly 1.5 millimeter cable, and it should be used for the right purpose. Let's say, for example, it's used for lighting, but some people here are using that 1.5 maybe to connect to their sockets. If you do that, you're going to use a wrong cable for a different purpose. So when you go to the market, you see that these cables are labeled in such a way that it's not supposed to be like that. you should go there and understand the quality, the standards, the requirements of that cable, not the fact that it's a British cable or a Dubai cable or Indian cable.
So my point now is,
cable.
how does the standard, what is the role of the Standards Bureau in this instant? How do you have the powers to control the importation, the sale, to seize some when you feel like the standard is low? How does the Standards Bureau operate?
Okay, so what we do for now, because we are a standards setting body, we're not a regulator.
Okay.
Regulators have the power to seize and condemn and say this or the things, but we are a standard setting body. What we do is we set the standards. We promote the standards. Like just on Friday, the event that we are having is to promote the standard. And we go outside to ensure that we educate the importers and every stakeholder within the sector about the standard and the usage of the standard.
Right.
And if the uptake of the standard is done, we help in the implementation of the standard itself, right? But what we can do, what the powers that we have currently is we work with the Consumer Protection Agency. So any complaints that we have from consumers, we work with the Consumer Protection Agency, and we go back to those particular to those culprits and you take some samples from them. We do the testing and give out the result to show that whether what they are selling is up to the standard or not.
The enforcement.
So the Consumer Protection, they do the rest.
Okay.
But in the future, what we have already been doing, because we have a certification body, and I think I think we've just heard about a certification body in other countries, right? So most countries, they have the standard mark of quality. So for standard mark of quality is given to products that have already passed a test and they are certified that they have gone through they have gone through the requirements of the standard. So if they don't go through the requirement of the standard, they will not be given the standard mark of quality. So we're getting towards that end.
Okay, so at least then when consumers see the stamp, they're like, this is what I need.
So now,
So go ahead. Sorry.
Considering the fact that we have a lot of stock in the market at the moment, and most of these products are not up to standard. So what are we going to do about these ones? And what's your recommendation to the implementing body about these products in the market? Because like you said, we have the British cables, we have the Dubai cables, but people don't know. People might think, okay, fine, this is from Britain and it's stronger. The other one is from Dubai, maybe it's the weak one. So now we have them in the market stocked. And we cannot tell these people to go and throw away all these products. So what are we going to do? What is your recommendation?
So the remedy that we can do is market surveillance. So what I mean by market surveillance is going out there and looking at what is in the market and try to remedy the situation by informing the general public that these are the cables that are off standard and these are the cables that are not up to standard. Once you do the market surveillance and present the report, and especially publish the report in a public domain, obviously everybody will have access to that particular report and say that, okay, you'll be making informed decision when you go out there to buy. But also we have an issue of, we don't have everybody being 100% literate and understanding these technical terms, right? That is the importance of the standard mark of quality. That is the reason why we're getting towards the standard mark of quality. We have it for other products, like for water and management systems. We have a standard. We have a certification scheme for those ones, but we're also working towards having certification schemes for cables and all other products. Because of the Standards Bureau, it cuts across all the sectors in the country. So we're going step by step. We're growing step by step. Even though all sectors are priority sectors, but we need to go step by step based on the resources that we have, and also being the human and financial resources at the same time.
Well, Geneva, at some point too, it's the livelihood of the people. I mean, the earnings sometimes can lead you to go and buy low-end cables.
Yes,
you understand? Because
true.
I understand the British cables are more expensive.
Of course.
You understand?
Of course.
The better the quality, the more expensive the product. So this also leads to people buying the normal
that's the problem.
one. Because when I was building my house, when they calculated cables for me, it went up to $20-something thousand.
You begin to wonder.
Only cables. I was expecting maybe I will spend 10,000, but when they said 20-something thousand, I mean, I was like, wow, it's expensive.
That's true. But also too, if you're building your house, sometimes you think about the cost implications, but also the ramifications afterwards is more than the cost implication. So for example, if you didn't spend that 20,000 on the cables, now you're actually putting out fire at your house. But you're putting out fire at your house. So you literally have to build from scratch again. And it will cost you at least 500,000 to do that again. But in initial cost should have cost you 20,000. You are reluctant, and then you spend 10,000. So the problem is here. It's not just the poverty. Also sometimes the reluctance. I will give a quotation, and somebody like me will come from a corner and say that I bought a share. How much quotation we're cheap? I know because in the market I have cable. I can buy cables for 10,000, and I will give you a quotation of 10,000. You'll be like, kid of mabuna tapale. And I was giving you a quality, but some those are the kind of things
generally, Amadou, don't you think that's a Gambian behavior? Because apart from products, even services that
you offer,
I've been through that, where they would rather go for something cheaper, but will get less quality from that individual, rather than you who is charging more and will provide quality. So I think it's a concept.
So we're building a quality conscious Gambia. That is why we want. That is the reason. That is one of the reasons why the Standards Bureau is established, because we're manning the three of the 4 pillars of the national quality infrastructure. So what we do is try to do a lot of promotion, a lot of sensitization, a lot of explanation, because it's still a new concept to a lot of the Gambian audience. But it's also a very exciting concept as well, because if you're talking about these things, you need to be sure that you're quality conscious of what you're doing. So what we want to do is, at some point, we bring all products are equal in the country, because if you bring all products equal in the country, now you'll have choice. Once you standardize, you have choice. It doesn't matter whether it's Dubai cable or British cable. You'll not label it anymore. You'll be seeing the standard mark of quality. Once you go in the market as a layperson in the technical area of electricals, even yourself, you can just go to the market and buy for yourself, because you'll be sure that if I see something with the standard mark of quality,
if there is standard, and we all know there is a marking that shows, okay, this is standard, then even financially you will be prepared to buy the standard.
Because you know this is what it is.
That's the point.
Why not dina am tamit? I'm going Gambia institutions. This morning,
wow. I believe so. Most of these fire incidents, amuñ quality cables.
Exactly.
Because if you look at the research, if you look at the results of findings, investigations, you buddy see, especially public buildings, public places, fire incidents, you buddy, it's related to electrical failure. Not just the cables also, but also even illegal connections. You see 1 meter is connected to 3-4 shops. Those are the kind of things that you do, and then it's also bringing a lot of ramifications to
Mr. Jallo, I'm afraid that is all we have time for. But this is, a discussion that we can expand on. But thank you so much for the work that you do.
Thank you.
Especially as a young person, you guys can do a lot. There's a lot of energy and all.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying. And then, like I said, we want to build a quality conscious Gambia, and we want to start from the grassroots and going up. So we want to even integrate standardization into curriculum.
Well, I believe we can achieve it as a country, only if we are focused.
I should give you a sample of the cable so that you can see it.
I bought the British cable.
Wow, why dal?
Cable margin almost 30K.
30K.
Only cables.
Cable 30K.
I want to dig. Quality conscious, right?
But thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
We'll go for a short break and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
With our ultimate bundles, enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, And now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espace Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning, and I am Jada Masonko. So, Ibrahim, and now we're taking a look at how the Kano Foundation has donated rain boots to women in Nyanija. So, I actually think I read the news on that day.
You know what Kano is?
I know.
What's Kano?
I know. I don't need to explain.
What's Kano?
I know.
Mandinka.
Is it not love?
Mandinka.
Good. Kano means love.
You put
She's
my friend
putting me
at the
on the
corner.
spot. I'm not going to allow this. I don't speak Mandinka. I'm a
I feel
Mandinka.
disappointed if a
It means
Mandinka,
love. I know
Mandinka
that.
child cannot speak
Whatever.
Mandinka.
Anyway, I didn't read the news on that day. I actually translated the Mandinka version to English.
Really.
That's what I did. And while I was reading it, I didn't write the story, but while I was reading it, I'm like, what a brilliant donation. And we are joined by Mohammed Jabi, Mr. Jabi. Thank you so much. Very familiar face when it comes to donations in rural Gambia.
Thank
so
you.
it's a good thing that we have you back here.
Thank
and
you very
guys,
much.
your activities are coming up together.
Thank
you. So just give us the story, why rain boots for women, in Nyanija. What's the whole story behind it?
I think that's a very important question that you've just asked.
Yeah.
Nyanija is almost from, if you take the South Bank, it will take you about 241 kilometers to get to Kerawan Stokoto in Nyanija. A brief history, Kerawan Stokoto, it just is a riverine village. It's next to the village. If you are on the south, if you cross behind from Jareng, there is a ferry between Jareng and Karolswaf. That's the riverside.
Right.
Then the village itself is called Kerawan Stokoto. Then you have Charmin and all those things. Nyani has about 33 settlements. But coming to the Kano Foundation, Kano, as we know, it means love. Right. Stephen and Aisha have been coming to the Gambia from 2014. Right. And for the last 7 years, they realized that before 2021, we must be involved in something. That's what they think of. And Kerawan Stokoto in Nyanija, as you have seen in the news, in fact, I'm deeply touched by the preambles of the person who was making the news. The ground is so fertile for snakes, and the distance between there and Kauru, which is the major health center, then coming to Farafenni is hard. If you are attacked or bitten by a snake, before you reach there, before you know, may God forbid, and something else
we
can
all
happen.
understand, even those hospitals are not well equipped.
They are not well equipped. And I think with Aisha and Stephen realized this and said, okay, we sent the picture as you had in the news and said, I think let's send it to Aisha and Stephen. And they realized that, why can't we not get to a company that can help us with these boots? And let me tell you, Baldebana, this 1.5 million worth of boots. Yes, they have metal caps. They are very, very strong. Despite their size, they are very light. But not because the size, I think the women realize that these are things they can use in the gardens. And when we make the presentation, the women say to themselves, this is one of the wonderful things that we can ever have in our lives. Isa and Stephen, in fact, when we send the clip to them, they took it to the company. And let me tell you, the company, because of the way they see the presentation was made, they made the whole 1.5 million on gratis. So QTV, I will not discuss that here. We also very pleased with you because you look at the news items, the ones that are, every news item is important and prominent. But at times you look at the ramifications of your news. When you, after the news, what are the consequences? These are the things that the people depend on to look at and help. Nyanija, those women that are there, imagine, once who will go about, let's say, €100, for example. That's a lot of money if you change it to Gambian money.
if a bag of rice, how many bag of rice in that? So the women will prefer to go and buy rice or items to get the boots. Then these boots are very important for the women of Kerawan Sokoto in Nigeria.
And you know what? While I actually translated the story and I saw how it all started as a joke, according to the woman, it was just a joke. They saw a snake.
You got this right.
Yeah, it was a joke.
And they were walking in the gardens and they looked at the snake and the women come together. And that is what the Mandinka said. Nimusoli safa. Because women, when they kill the snake, everybody will make sure every part is getting the heat.
Yes.
So after killing it, he just took the picture and sent it to the group. Because Isa and Stephen decided to have a group,
for the women.
Group for the women.
Yeah.
He said, let me send it there. This will be a joke. When those people looked at it, Isa and Stephen looked at it in Belgium, they said, this is a very serious matter.
Yeah, they took it seriously.
And they took it to the company, and the company said, okay, the money is about $1.5 million, but let's see. But after the news, they make it gratis.
Look at that.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
It started as a joke.
Yeah,
that's it did.
It started
and
as
Kano,
a joke.
as he said, love, wherever love is, whatever you think can come. I'm not deviating from this. All the troubles in Africa, for example, the wars, is because the love is not there. You can't love a person and kill the person. That's not possible. And that's why they decided and said, love must exist between humans. It must exist within our society. When there is love, whatever you think can come. Out of love, you see what has come now.
Yes.
Yes.
And also, you talked about love in a way. And while still I read the story, I saw that, Isabel and Steve, is it?
Stephen, yeah.
Stephen felt like the snakes also have a right to live. They felt like the snakes have a right of existence.
Yes.
The women cannot keep killing the snakes, so they can coexist without anybody being hurt.
And in fact, you have a very, that's why in the news, when I was listening to the news, I said, yes, you see, the journalists can always make things very wonderful.
Yes.
And that's what they think, because we must understand the flora and the fauna. The fauna, which are the animal, and the flora, which are, that's very key for the Gambian people.
Right.
And each time we see such animals, our point is kill them. If a pig appeared, kill. Anything that appeared for Gambian mentality, kill them. And I think their idea to have a coexistence between the animals and the villagers, that's very key. And that's why, let me tell you, when these schools are given to the women now, they're more active, more confident in the garden,
Correct.
more confident to walk in the night, and they put it on. And I told them, you see, it's just like the life jacket when you are crossing the rivers.
Right.
Typical Gambian, if they are crossing the river, you give them the life jacket, they feel it's a burden.
Yes.
It's a protection. These shoes too are a protection for the villagers and the community.
And one of the women said, we can step on snakes now.
They can now step on.
We can step on them.
Although we are not telling you to go and step on
them,
snakes.
but
it gives them the confidence.
But Mr. Jabi, it's important to advise them on how to maintain the boats. You understand? At the end of the time, maybe we are going to get this once in a while. But did you put it to them that, okay, these boots need to be maintained so that we don't misuse them or we don't throw them away? Sometimes control mechanism is very significant.
Sure.
Baldebana, that's why somebody said to me, he said, if you are talking, the journalist will always look where to ask. I think this is a very important
That's our job.
The issue is when we are making the presentation. Money can be very tempting.
Right.
In fact, when this news item came up, we have over 150 applications from individuals wanting to get it. And one of them was saying, even if you want me to buy it, I can buy it. That's a very big temptation.
Yeah,
it happened.
A rural Gambian woman
happened.
with this kind of a boot, particularly in the Gambia, we all Gambians, we know August and September are the hardest, particularly in our rural area. To get $100, to get $20,
that's difficult.
very hard for them.
Very
so
difficult.
The temptation is very high.
August
And September, Gambia. Anyone who knows Gambian history, you know August and September are the hardest time of our rural people. Because quite often a time, the products of the previous year, the proceeds, whatever, are almost finished.
Yes.
So getting the money now is difficult. And the temptation is very high.
That's true.
We told them, let nobody come here and say, let me give you $100 or $200 and let them use. And then we go, because we've written all their names.
Right.
And we want them, in fact, For your information, they'll be coming on the 17th of September just for 1 week, because they feel that the way the presentation is done, and to them, the way QTV have presented this, give them the idea that whatever you do for Gambians, Gambian media is very interested. And that itself, they said to me, Mr. Jawi, we had wanted to come next year, but this time, let's make it on the 17th of September.
Inshallah.
Come for a week. And I'm sure when they come,
we'll
make sure you will meet them.
All right, we are glad he mentioned QTV. I mean, it's doing a wonderful job. And when we inaugurated our TV, our slogan says, a new era in broadcasting.
Right.
So if we cannot do this, I mean, then this means, I mean, our purpose has been depicted.
That's the point.
So thank you, Mr.
Mr. Jabi,
Thank
you so much. We're looking forward to another engagement.
Thank you very much.
And keep doing what you're doing. So he was just testing my Mandinka, but I passed the test.
You have, of course.
Yes, I have.
You proved me wrong.
Yes, I did. So see you guys next week, inshallah. Julden Jai and Ibrahim Balde will be here to complete the week, inshallah. So see you guys. Have a great afternoon.